What's up guys, Crusade Kid here, and today I'm going to be basically doing my Jesse's tips that you would normally see on Snapchat, but I'm going to go more in depth. Now this wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to have somebody else come over here and I would talk to them, record with them, and actually have a conversation with people, because I usually feel like a conversation, you bring more out, more ideas come up, so it's better to cover everything, because my head goes like 100 miles per hour. I can't usually concentrate or think of just one thing or to keep me on task. Usually conversation helps me with that. But I'm kind of going to go over yesterday's tip, number 9. I'm kind of be talking about today's tip, which I'm going to post on Snapchat after this video. And also going to send you a link so you guys can watch that if you even care enough. You know, sometimes I wonder if people actually care enough about me. But besides that, quick announcement. I went to Comic-Con and I loved it. It was great. Got this little Mangekyo Sharingan Kakashi / Obito necklace. Really cool. It's also why I have my anime hat on, even though I always wear it when I game. But yesterday's tip. And somebody asked me, I really didn't get it. And I don't know if it was just the way I worded it or the actual meaning behind it he didn't get. So let me just tell you what it was kind of about. Now, I don't remember exactly the words I'm going to put down, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but it was basically about everyone's able to fail. It doesn't matter who you are, what age, sex, race, everybody's capable of failing. And sometimes no matter how hard you want something or how hard you try or sometimes how hard you train, you still might fail. It still may blow up in your face. And sometimes it's worse than you can actually recover from. And what I meant by this is that sometimes it just isn't enough. And let me just use the example I put in there, then I'll actually go into detail. I kind of got ahead of myself. I had to pull it back in, but a fish that wants to climb, no matter how hard the fish wants to climb, no matter how hard it trains, no matter how hard it feels deep in his soul, that's what he was supposed to do, a fish will never be able to climb up a tree. It just will never happen. It's never going to happen. A fish will not climb up the tree. It will become a failure. It will not be able to climb, and it will not be able to swim. But a fish, realizing that it's a fish, and swims non-stop to become the best swimmer, will no longer be a failure, because it's great at swimming. No, it may not be able to climb, but at the same time, compared to all the other fishes, they can't climb either. Now, of course, there's more things that go on when it comes about human beings and what exactly we can and cannot do. But eventually, a lot of this comes down to who you are and what you're good at. Some people are physically gifted, some people are mentally gifted, some people are creative, and other people are great speakers. It all just depends on what you were chosen to do. I am not a naturally born speaker, good speaker, but I am now. And I want to talk about that, how there are some, instances where you can, but there's other times where you just simply can't. And there's so many examples, it's going to be hard to completely talk about everyone's instances. And that's okay, because honestly, what my tips, not really tips, but my advice can only come from you. You have to search deep into you. Now, I guess I could walk up to every single individual person that asked me this question, go look at their entire life to figure it out. But most people know what they're good at and what they're not good at. And if they're not good at something, they should just venture out in life until they find something they're good at. But if you're not good at something, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Now, there are certain instances where you have the capability, you just haven't tried or trained yet, which is okay. Some people are not good at things because of the simple fact that they've never done it before. And from there, you can train, practice, and then eventually you will get that skill. Just because you wasn't necessarily naturally gifted at the beginning doesn't mean that you can't become great or good or whatever you're trying to do. But sometimes, after you've done something for so long, You have to come to the realization, am I getting any better? Am I actually good at what I'm doing? Should I look at other options? Now, of course, you gotta take accountability. Do you like this? Let's just use sports for example, football. You may not be the best naturally good athlete, but you could love the game, you could study the game, and you could be like, okay, I could be a coach, assistant coach. I can, be like, what are they called? There are people up in like the nest where bookkeepers, I guess is what they call them, or the guy that records the footage. And that helps out football players. Even though you're not the football player, it helps out football. You get to enjoy what you like, football. And that can be for other sports like basketball. If you like basketball, that's great. But liking basketball does not necessarily make you a basketball star because you like it so much. And you want it so much, that's not how life works. And like I said earlier, there are some things where you're not good at because you simply never done it. But there comes a point in your life where you need to realize that this thing just isn't cut out for me. And no matter how hard I want it, it's just not going to happen. And if you do that, you'll be able to broaden your horizons and find something that you're actually good at. And then you can excel at that, become special, you become great, if that's what you really want to do. Now, of course, there are some people who are okay with being mediocre. I mean, sometimes I can be that way too, where good enough is good enough, and that's absolutely fine. But there are things that I do like, and there are some things I want to excel in. And I am good at those things, usually. Now, it's okay if you have some weaknesses and you want to excel those weaknesses, that's fine. But don't ever expect them to become absolutely great. Now, I'm just going to tell you there are some exceptions. Let's say your weakness is, avoiding calories. Let's just say a certain food like chocolate. You love chocolate. Chocolate's your one weakness. And then eventually you become like a health nut and then you never eat chocolate again. Okay, fine, I guess you took your one weakness, something you were really bad at, and now you're great at it. But that's different. That's something that everybody has. It's mental capability. Physical capability, however, can be different. Like there's certain things that require no talent. And yes, those things anybody can become great at. So if it's something that requires zero talent, then yes, you can excel at those. Like effort. You can accelerate and beat effort. You can put in more effort than anybody else. That is absolutely great. But things that actually require talent, sometimes it just won't be you. And that's what I was getting at yesterday, and I hope this was more informative and more understanding. If you disagree or hate my guts, I would love to actually know in the comment section. Or if you want to praise me, because I don't ever get enough of that, honestly. You would think my family would do that, but... Well, sorry about that. I ended up getting a little bit off track when I originally did this. My ADD got a hold of me. So I'm gonna just bring it back to the point I was actually trying to get at. My tip tip 10 for Jesse's tips is to find your talents. At the end, I did explain this a little bit, and then I went off topic, but find things that you're talented at. And also, hold on, just one more thing before you hear that squeaking. Tell me you hear it. I know it picked up the last recording, but it's not squeaking as much. Yeah, that's not me. I just want to make sure everybody's aware this is the chair. This little creaking. Anyway, back to the video. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure that everybody knew that I couldn't help it. It just happens. Also, the sound I make, I have clogged up noseways. So please don't be hating. I'm sorry. That one, I wasn't sorry about that one. But find your tips. Not your tips, find your talents. Find things that you truly enjoy. And that's where you should always start off with. I might find some things that I'm really talented in that just bring me zero joy. So, part 1, find something you just enjoy, regardless of what people think and how much money it makes. Usually, these can deter people. And as I think I said earlier, I don't know. It's kind of, I've been recording this a few times because, yeah, I'm not usually good at vlogging myself kind of like this. Not really a vlog, but y'all know what I mean. It's hard to say no to something that brings you money or that might make you popular. Sorry, my phone was buzzing. But don't worry about that. My dad used to be really big on just saying, well, not my dad, Dan, stepdad, I call him dad. So if I'm talking about two different people and I both call them dads, it's okay. But he would always ask me, it's like, do I want this? And I would just be like, yeah, this is what I want. It's like, or do you want it because other people think it's cool? Do you think it's cool, or do other people think it's cool? And he always told me from a young age, and it really helped me understand that sometimes people want things just because they want other people to appreciate them. And that's not what you should be doing, especially when you're trying to find something you want to do with your life. Especially when you're just a kid, without responsibilities, just living at home. But if you really get down to it, regardless of money or regardless of, what other people think, what brings you joy? What makes you actually happy to do? And that's always what you should start off with. And then, of course, you should start off with, am I good at it? So first of all, find out what brings you joy. Next, find out if you're good at it. Now, there are some things that just require training and practice, and I get that. But after a while, you gotta come to the realization, am I good at this? Can I excel at this? And then the third thing should be, can you support yourself? If you can't support yourself by doing this, you shouldn't be doing it. Like I said earlier, it's not the most important thing, especially when you're younger, but it is still a key necessity. I think if I had to break it down, it should be, does it actually bring you joy? Are you actually good at it, or could excel? And 3, can you support yourself? And it may be hard to do. And some people think this is really easy and can easily find out exactly what they want to do with their life and can go through these. But I just want you to put those in that order. Most people usually go, can I support myself? Am I good at it? And then does it bring me joy? Which is good in the short run, but they end up quitting or giving up on it because they lack the true joy. So if you just switch the roles around, then you're happy. And then, you excel and good at it, and then you can support yourself. Now, it's a little bit different if you have a family or you're living on your own because, money does matter. You need to be able to support yourself, take care of yourself. So this is more aimed at people still living at home. But at the end of the day, you should always fill out all 3 qualities. But if you're searching for something, try looking in that order, because it may bring you more joy in the long run. Because money can make you happy for a little bit. Being good at something can make you happy, but if there's something else like you feel deep down you've always wanted to do, it's okay. But you also gotta remember the last tip of, the idea of failure, that you can fail. Is it worth the risk? So that's kind of what today's tip is. Just, find something you're talented at. Find something you can excel at. But make sure that you enjoy it, and then figure out if it's your talent. So I want you to find your talent, but make sure you enjoy it first, and then check in to see if you can make money off of that. So if you learn anything from this video, besides the first half but about tip number 10, find your talent. Find a talent that first brings you joy, then a talent you can exceed or become great at, and then maybe look into see if it can support your family. But let's just say, I know there's people are going to ask me, what if you're not? What if you're just moved out? I'm just going to tell you this. You always go for the money. You always support your family first. But if that's not you, that's what this video is more aimed at. But thank you so much for watching, staying this long. I'm really glad to know that people, care about my videos somewhat. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed Jesse's tip number 10.